The circle of trust has been broken. If you're new here, my name is Justin. I make videos where I go through some aspect of my budgeting process. This video is going to be a monthly reset video where I go through my income and expenses for the month of February. We are just clipping on along. It is already March, a quarter of the way through the year, and I feel like it was just Christmas, like last week. Okay, so I feel like the circle of trust has been broken because sad news, the universe, remember last video, if you haven't seen it, go to the last video that I posted. But I said in that video that karma was going to come back and bite me, and it did, because my apartment complex somehow figured out that they added a duplicate double credit and they took it away. Fortunately, even though I was a little irresponsible and kind of spent a lot of that money that I had set aside already to cover if they came back and asked for it, fortunately, they caught it early enough that the amount when they removed that duplicate credit that I needed to pay was only like $560 or $546. And I had still in savings about $484 still set aside for that overage, which means I was only $60 short. So I took that $60 from my household consumables. I paid what I owed. And although it pains me that they did find out, because I had big plans for that money, it feels good that it's taken care of. Now I don't have to look over my shoulder and wonder if and when they're ever going to find out, because they did, and they fixed it. So yeah, sad day. But this video is all about February, and so let's take a look. One thing, YNAB, if you're watching, stop making so many adjustments to your program. Normally, I don't notice them. I don't, pick up on the small, minute changes of the program and what's different, what they changed, or whatever. But I noticed this. As you can see down here at the very, very bottom, half of the data that's presented in this chart is missing. It's covered. And I have to scroll down just a little bit to make it visible. So that tells me that they changed the sizing of this page. And the sizing is no longer what it used to be. So YNAB, if you're watching, fix that. I don't want to have to scroll a little bit just to see everything. I should be able to see it as it is. But as you can see, in February, I spent $4,626.75. And normally my rent is my biggest culprit, but in February it was technology. So technology consisted of my computer, a CD drive. Actually, I bought 2 CD drives, and I think I'm going to keep them both. I have 2 computers. That means I can burn 2 movies or 2 discs at one time. And so it makes digitizing my media much faster. But I also bought 2 10 terabyte hard drives to go into this guy, which was my network attached storage device. So this was a portion of the money that I had set aside already to cover if they figured out that they gave me an extra credit on my rent. But fortunately, I didn't spend it all. Rent is my second highest. This was okay. So this was the remaining rent for my old apartment, like the partial payment. So it was about half what I usually pay, a little less than half, I guess. But I needed to pay that, so that's what that was. Moving fees. This is just a handful of random things. I put my water machine under that. I paid for my rental truck, my U-Haul truck. I paid for some tape. I also got a shred machine, some Post-its, and some markers, and a couple boxes. The next thing was media. Now, if you recall, I only budgeted $25 for media, but I spent $172. I went a little overboard, more than a little, a lot overboard with buying DVDs. I was only going to spend $25, and when I went to Goodwill, you can see that the first time I went to Goodwill was $41. I walked in there only wanting to spend $25, but I was thoroughly surprised at the selection of movies that Goodwill had, not only in Blu-ray, but also just regular DVD format. And so I purchased more than I expected. I went to 2 different Goodwills that same day. I went to one Goodwill, spent $41, went to another Goodwill, spent $50. And then a couple days later, I went back to the original Goodwill and picked up a couple more movies that I didn't find in Blu-ray at this second Goodwill. So all of this covered, I have 41 movies and 1 TV show. So it's a pretty good starter library. I think it's definitely worth paying a little bit more than I anticipated to have a bigger starter library. Because if I had only spent $25, I would basically be out of movies and TV shows to watch because I've pretty much watched all of what would have cost $25. So that is media. I currently am budgeting $25 every paycheck for media. I think I might up that to $50 every paycheck. I want to grow my media collection as quickly as I can up to the limit of my space. So I only have, even though I have 2 10 terabyte hard drives, they're basically cloned as like a backup. So I only have one of them available for putting things on. The other one is just a backup in case one of those drives fails. But I have quite a ways to go until I fill up the space available, probably somewhere to the tune of like 300 to 400 movies. And like I said, I only have 40. So I want to up the amount of money I'm spending on media until I reach the max of my space. And then I'm going to start budgeting probably for additional space at that time. But next thing is dog food. January or February was one of those odd months where I had to purchase dog food twice. Um, the amount of food that I give him, the box that I buy, so I buy dehydrated, just add water, human grade food for him. Um, it lasts 3 weeks. So every couple months will be a month where I have to pay twice, which is why I changed how I budget for it to not be $50 every paycheck, but instead the full amount immediately following the last time I purchased it. So that way I always have the money, even if it's a month that I purchased it twice. Car insurance, this is a standard bill amount between 135 and 140. Clothing, this was my 2 extra small jackets that I got from Columbia that are working out very nicely, I might add. Household consumables, this was just a bunch of cleaning supplies that I bought. I kind of had to double up on a lot of things because I needed cleaning supplies to clean my old apartment and clean the new apartment before I moved in. So I basically spent, twice the amount that I expected to, but I was cleaning 2 different apartments. So I'm okay with that. Power, $125. This was kind of a hodgepodge between paying power for my old apartment and my new apartment. As you can see, I have a different company now. That's been fun. But dining out, 110. Domino's and Panda Express are pretty much my go-tos, or have been for a while. Spotify, I purchased a annual gift card for $99, so I won't have to purchase Spotify until next February. Internet, my last internet was $90. Discretionary spending, I use discretionary spending on odd and end things. Sometimes I use it to cover overspending. Sometimes I use it for dining out if I've exhausted all of my dining out money and I really want to eat something. But as you can see, this is just a lot of random things. Just Finance, they mentioned in one of their videos one of the particular cookbooks that they use. So that same day I went and purchased that cookbook from Barnes and Nobles. See, here we go. YNAB has made another change. I wonder if they heard me. Imagine if they heard me and they fixed it. That'd be crazy. Anyways, I got some gum and Skittles from Walmart, some thumbtacks and ice cream. I used thumbtacks to tack up my blackout shades or my blackout cloths. A DVD app. So because I'm kind of collecting a lot of DVDs and I don't want to buy the same thing twice, there are DVD apps out there, or media apps that allow you to enter in media that you've purchased and it kind of catalogs it. It was a one-time fee of $15, so now I have that as a lifetime app. I absolutely love this app. You can scan barcodes. So if I'm out and about, I can scan a barcode. It'll know what movie it is, all the things about it. I can add it to my wish list if I'm not ready to buy it. I can add it to my library if I'm ready to buy it. I can label it. So I am taking the movies that I physically have and I'm ripping them or burning them to a digital format and adding them into my digital library. So I'm able to flag videos or movies that I have a physical copy of and a digital copy of in case I, you know, sell a physical copy. I can get rid of that physical flag and just keep it as a digital flag. So it makes it really easy to track. This OpenAI, I budgeted a couple dollars. Even though I purchased this DVD app and it's been great, there are some things that I wish it did better or that it doesn't do. And so obviously I've been open on here that I've created a couple mobile apps of my own that I use. So what I did was I tried to create my own DVD and media catalog app that does the same thing. It can scan barcodes and identify what movies it is. The engine behind converting a barcode number to the particular movie or box set or TV show requires either AI to deduce that or paying for a large barcode database. It was much cheaper to go the AI route. So I paid $6 and 53 cents to test out using AI. It was great, but it was not very efficient the way I built it. So I kind of stopped building that app. I may go back to it. I don't know. We'll see. But I was willing, to spend a couple dollars to test it out. It did really well. Accuracy was 100%. It was actually more accurate than the app that I paid for. There were a couple box sets, like Disney box sets, that had a mix of like 10 movies in it. And when I scanned the barcode, it came up with all 10 accurate movies. Whereas when I scanned it with the app that I'm using, it came up with 10 different and not correct movies in that box set. So it was accurate, more accurate, but it would take anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds for it to identify movies. And I don't want to be sitting waiting 20 to 30 seconds for it to figure out what movie is in my hand. So I abandoned it. My cell phone, $74. I am waiting for the launch. Well, they're in pre-order right now, the Samsung Galaxy S26. I'm waiting until they become physically available in stores next week on the 11th for me to go to a store and pick up the S26. So my my phone bill will probably go up somewhere between $15 and $30. And that increase will be paying the phone. So look out for that. I'll have to adjust that accordingly, but I'm preparing for it, so I'm fine with it. Storage, $72 has been what I've been paying for a couple years. I got a notice that they're actually going to be increasing my storage unit by $3 or $4 a month, I think. So I think that starts next month. We'll see. But another bill that I'm going to have to adjust. I filled up my gas tank one time. Cursor, this is the subscription that I pay monthly for that helps me create apps and does a lot of the coding stuff. So it's been worth it. I'm not as heavy into creating apps as I used to be. So I may consider getting rid of this and just kind of opening it up when I need to use it. But for now, I'm okay paying it. Pet supplies and medication. So I've been using Chewy for a very long time. Probably as long as I've owned the dog, and that's been upwards of 10 years. They have always been great. And what they did for me last month just goes to show how awesome Chewy is. So I have a backyard. My apartment has a backyard. It's a private backyard. So most times my dog goes out there. At least once I will take him for a walk. But the majority of the time he's using the bathroom in the backyard. And I was getting sick and tired of taking the waste bags, a couple times a day to the trash can. So I saw on Chewy that they had trash cans that closed and they claimed to be odor proof or like odor resistant. So I purchased one. It was $50, like $54, and I used it for 24 hours, and they made it seem like it would be okay as like a once a week sort of chore to take the bag and toss it out. Well, after 48 hours, just standing outside in my backyard, I could smell it. Um, and if you're really new to the channel, I live in Arizona where it's literally desert, hot. So yeah, after 48 hours, I came to the conclusion that that trash can was not worth what the money was. And so I left a review on the product and said, I purchased this. I was under the impression that it would last a lot longer. It didn't live up to my expectations. Literally within 12 hours, I received an email from Chewy saying that they appreciated my honesty, they appreciated my review, and they refunded me the money for the product. They didn't have to do that. In fact, I've never, after leaving a review on a product, I've never been given a refund from anybody. And so they're the first. So yeah, Chewy is awesome. I get my dog food from Chewy. I'm about to start getting his pill pockets and Dasiquin supplements from Chewy. I'm toying with the idea of getting his medicine through Chewy. Chewy is the best. Absolutely the best. Ring camera, $11. That's typically how much I've been spending. Netflix, February was the last month that I paid for Netflix. I canceled it. I just got sick and tired of not finding anything that was interesting. And that's kind of what prompted me to really start building up a media library that I own, that I can control. So Netflix is no more. And my first water iteration was $3.60. I think I'm getting close to needing to get refills. So between myself and my dog, 10 gallons has lasted a month, which is really awesome. And yeah, that pretty much covers all of my expenses. So we will go and look at my income. So I have a W-2 job. I get 2 paychecks a month, with the exception of 2 months where I get 3. February was a 2 paycheck month, so I got just under $3,900. Dividend. This is a monthly dividend that I get from my HSA. I'm not entirely sure why I get it, but I'm happy to get it. So interest and cashback, this is pretty much all interest. I don't really do much with cashback or haven't. The largest portion of this was from my emergency fund being as large as it is. I also got my, I think this was my federal tax return of 275. So I got my state tax return in January and my federal tax return in February. I did amend so finally TurboTax opened up the amendment window. So I amended my tax return to include my lifetime learning education credit. As expected, I got the full 1980. The max you could get is $2,000. So I got 1980. It's 20% of the amount that you pay. I paid $9,900. So 20% of that was 1980. And I don't know when I'm going to get that. They claim to be much slower with getting you your amended refund money than your initial amount. I'm also not happy with TurboTax because my original tax refund was a very simple tax refund. It fell under the free category, so I didn't have to pay for either state or federal tax when I filed. But everything I read said that if you amend, you only have to pay for what you're amending. And that lifetime credit only amends my federal tax credit. Has nothing to do with my state tax credit. My state tax credit didn't change, but they still charged me $60 to file my state tax when I didn't actually file it again because nothing changed. So when I get my refund, I'm probably going to call TurboTax and fight to get that money back because they shouldn't have charged me. They basically charged me for something that didn't actually happen. I didn't amend my state return. I didn't refile my state return. So they should have never charged me. But yeah, all in all, I got $4,200 in income, less than what I spent, which I've been on. Actually, no, it's not less than I spent. It's more than I spent. But I'm fine. I've got all of my bills covered. I don't have any overspending. I'm good to go. I am prepped and ready to start setting aside money for rent again. So yeah, we'll close it out by looking at my net worth. Very linear. I'm not anticipating any large changes month to month. But essentially, the difference is money that I've set aside in savings that I have since spent. But yeah, my net worth normally will fluctuate a couple thousand based on the money that I'm setting aside for bills and then when I pay them. So nothing crazy here. But yeah, that pretty much ends this video. Chugging right along, feeling good about my budget, feeling good about where I'm at in terms of my goals. I am now going to start focusing more on my savings goals that I've kind of put on the back burner for the beginning part of the year. And I'm hoping in the next month or two, I will have my pet emergency fund all funded, and then I can start building my emergency fund income replacement from a 3-month to a 6-month. So I will leave you all with that, and I will see you in the next video.